Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome to this week's Profile to Profit LinkedIn workshop. I do these a couple times a month just to help those who are trying to figure out LinkedIn so that you can master LinkedIn and you can use it for your business or to find a job, depending on where you are in life and what stage you're in your career. These workshops are created just for you. So thank you so much for being here. Uh, we do have messages that you can leave or questions you can ask on the live stream. So go ahead and drop your questions, and I will try to get them as soon as possible. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm live on YouTube. Give me a second. Says I am. All right. Yep, I'm there. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Checking. All right. All right. So we're live on LinkedIn and on YouTube right now. And so welcome everyone. Please go ahead and type in the chat where you're from. And you can even share why you're here. Are you trying to find clients on LinkedIn, or are you trying to get, maybe land your next gig or contract? Let us know in the comments. This will be recorded and sent out to those who registered. So don't fret if you cannot keep up for some reason and you're like, how do you do that? I need to, slow down. You can also rewind this on YouTube. So you're all good. I always suggest that you have your profile open so you can make notes and you can actually do the work as we go along. So let's go ahead and get started. Well, thanks for joining me today. Just a little bit about me because you're like, who are you? My name is Claudia Garcia. I am a coffee addict. And if you go on my LinkedIn profile, most of my pictures are with me holding a mug. Yes. So this is my Montana mug. My husband was on set on a job and brought me a Montana mug. I'm also a serial entrepreneur. In fact, I've flipped houses, had an e-commerce store for years, and I was a coffee shop owner. Yes, like back in the day before Starbucks took world domination and started taking all the mom and pop shops out. Sorry, Starbucks. I still drink Starbucks till this day. So, yeah, I hold no grudge. But yeah, so I've even owned a coffee shop. In 2006-ish, 8-ish, I got into healthcare. And then in 2010, I established myself as a healthcare entrepreneur, opening up a healthcare marketing company. It later then evolved to different things where we started to offer credentialing and contracting and eventually staffing, temporary staffing and recruitment. Today I'm still in business, so it's been almost, I think, 16 years in October. So that's pretty cool. And today I help other entrepreneurs just like myself find clients online. So what qualifies to teach me? I mean, like, why should you even stick around, right? Well, let's talk about it. So I have landed 7 figures in contracts using the power of LinkedIn. So that's why I've made it my number one business tool. I've also generated multi 6 figures for myself using the relationships that I have on LinkedIn. And then 90% of my executive search for our recruiting and staffing has been done on LinkedIn. And also for the last 7 years, it's been my main marketing tool and sales tool. So I'm also an avid student of LinkedIn. As you guys know, everything is constantly changing. So we have to keep up with, what LinkedIn is doing next. So I'm making sure that I'm ahead of the game so that I can then go back to my community and share all of the updates. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Michelle. Yay. So, why choose LinkedIn? So, there's a few facts that y'all should know in case you didn't. But LinkedIn has 1 billion members, users, and the US actually has the highest number of users. HubSpot found that LinkedIn is 277% more effective at generating leads than Facebook and X. It's also a very busy platform. In fact, 9,000 people apply for jobs on LinkedIn every single minute. That's wild. And over 13,000 connections are made per minute. So let me ask, are you one of those making connections? I hope so. And the income buying power is just greater on LinkedIn. In fact, they say that 53% of LinkedIn users have high monthly household incomes. LinkedIn for healthcare. So, why did I choose to use LinkedIn? Well, as a recruiter and a staffing agency, we knew that we had to get in front of healthcare workers. So we chose LinkedIn to do this. And now, based on these stats on the screen, you see why, right? There's 3.4 million US nurses active on the platform and 1.1 million US physicians and surgeons. Part of my business is consulting the private practice. So why wouldn't I be on LinkedIn, right? I know some of you are going like, wow, I had no idea. Now, in this workshop, hopefully we go about 20, 30 minutes. And what we're going to cover is exactly how to craft a compelling LinkedIn profile that's going to help clients actually find you. So, the goal of being on LinkedIn isn't just to have another social platform, but it's really to be intentional about being seen and found by the right people. Again, whether it's trying to find a contract for a new role or you're actually trying to grow your business and get new clients. So, why should you optimize your profile? Well, number one is first impressions do matter. In fact, for recruiters, that first impression, the profile, it will make a difference between someone reaching out to you or someone just passing you by and going to the next candidate. It works the very same way with business. So if your profile is, not filled out properly, then how will people know whether or not you can help them? So I want to give you guys the benefits of why we should optimize. Of course, we talked about increasing visibility and attracting clients and recruiters, but also helping you grow your professional network. The cool thing about LinkedIn, it actually works on your behalf. So I said a little example here. LinkedIn will recommend you to your target audience. Imagine somebody sending out your business to the right people on your behalf. Isn't that amazing? But LinkedIn can only do this if they actually understand what you do for a living, whether it's again for a job or for your business. So if you see here, Vice President of Operations at a community regional medical center, it says he found me through LinkedIn recommendations. How I captured this was that I saw that he viewed my profile and then I was able to see how he found me. So that's pretty cool. Hi, El Paso and Little Rock, Arkansas, Michelle, and Thriva Wellness. Welcome. All right. So we're going to start with some basic stuff and then we'll jump into some of the details that I believe are so important for your LinkedIn profile. Number one is just verifying your account. If you still haven't verified your account, this simply means that you've told LinkedIn or you've confirmed with LinkedIn that you are who you say you are. This just builds trust on the platform. So when people see that you're verified, they know you're not a bot or some random person just being random on the internet. So this is what it looks like. It's a little shield, and you can find that in your account preferences under settings. All right, so let's talk about your profile picture. And I'm going to go through the main sections on your profile today, on your actual complete profile, LinkedIn profile. So let's start with the picture. So many people will throw up full body shots or a family photo, and the truth is we cannot see your face, and your face is what we want to see because your face is going to build trust. So if we cannot see your beautiful face, then we may just scroll on by. So professional headshots are going to be anything from like shoulders and up or mid chest and up. Also, you want to look approachable in your pictures. Some people look so mad in their pictures, and I'm like, ooh, we need to change that picture. But and also don't take selfies. Like selfies, nowadays you can prop your camera up, put a little timer on it, stand in front of a window so you have light, really great light, and you will look like you went to a studio. So there's no need to grab the phone and take selfies. All right. So let's talk about your banner. So the banner itself is going to be your billboard. It's telling people what you do and what you offer fairly quickly. So as is scrolling past, or if they've landed on your page, they should be able to see exactly what you do. The cool thing about LinkedIn now is it allows you to have a carousel banner. And this is an example of it. So I have actually three different banners that rotate on my page. So one says healthcare consultants, join me for a 5-day LinkedIn accelerator. We focus on visibility, lead generation, and getting clients. And then the other one says grow your healthcare business. And again, this is going to tell people that I help them grow their business. It's really simple. We don't have to complicate our banners. We just want people to know what we do as soon as they land on that page. All right. So let's talk about that headline. So this is been fun for me because I sort of change my headline all the time because I like to freshen it up. But I got to say that if you stick to this formula, you are going to have a better chance of being found online. Remember that LinkedIn is actually owned by Google, and is everything you do on LinkedIn is actually indexed on Google and will be found not just in a Google search, but on your LinkedIn search. So, as you guys have noticed, that a lot of these platforms went from being social platforms to now being info platforms. What does that mean? That means that you can go into a search bar and put in any information, and it's going to populate the information from their platform. So, it's not as social as it was before, where you just jump on just to see your friends and your family, because now they want to just feed you what you're actually searching for. So, if somebody is looking for a healthcare consultant that helps private practices with credentialing, if they put that information in, then our firm might come up or should come up. In fact, it actually does, because I did do a test on Google and I put my name on Google. And since Claudia Garcia, the name is super popular, apparently, mostly in the Latin countries, but it's very popular on the web. I went ahead and put Claudia Garcia healthcare, and immediately all of my LinkedIn activity and YouTube activity populated on the page. So you may want to try that and just see how you're showing up on Google. If you don't find yourself just with your name because you have a common name, then just put one keyword that you're hoping to be found by, and then this will be the real test. Like, am I going to be seen? You can also test it by area. If in fact what you're doing and you're writing and you're talking about is focused on a demographic, a city, a town, a state. Any questions? I would just love to answer questions during this presentation because I don't want anyone to forget. But if you have a question, just drop it in the chat. So in mine, I actually have switched it. So the last one, it said helping medical doctors, nurse practitioners, and healthcare consultants attract clients and opportunities by growing their online visibility. And then it says I'm a healthcare business strategist. And I always make sure to mention my actual business. I always call it my 9 to 5 business, staffing and recruitment, right? So then my second one here up top says grow your healthcare business. Hundreds of providers have been served with private practice marketing, credentialing, and staffing solutions. I actually ended up liking this one better because I was able to actually say what I'm doing for healthcare consultants like myself. And so if you see that bottom line, it says healthcare consultant helping other consultants get clients online. Now, what I want you guys to think about is do you know what follows you when you make a comment on LinkedIn? It is your headline. So it's actually, I think, the very first 9 words of your headline are going to follow you everywhere you go on LinkedIn. So every time you leave a comment, they will see your picture. That's why it's important to have a good picture. And they will see your headline. So, what do you want people to see first on other people's page, right? So, think about that. Um, Go back and look at where you've left a comment on someone's page and see what words are showing up, what phrases, and then adjust accordingly to what you want them to see the first time they ever lay eyes on your name. Yes, I think that, so what I did here, that's called like a Michelle is asking, what about mentioning an award? Yes, so that's called a credibility statement. So for me, I put hundreds of providers served since I've literally have served hundreds of providers, if not more than 1,000, possibly even more than that. So you can have something like an award, Emmy award winning, because Michelle, I know that you have some great awards to post. Definitely. You can also add that to your banner. I believe that you do have it on your banner. But yes, it's good. I wouldn't make it the very first thing on the statement unless you really want, people to know that first. But definitely put it on your headline or your banner. Yes, that's a big deal. So you'll see people put as seen on, or if they were on like they did a TED talk, they'll put that as well in their on their banner. All right. If you're confused and you're stuck and you just don't know what to write, you can go ahead and just ask good old AI. So if you're not scared of AI, which you shouldn't be, then you want to prompt it to give you the following. So this is the prompt. You guys can take a quick picture of it. It says, I want to create a LinkedIn headline that is optimized for LinkedIn search and Google search. Please include my target audience, who I serve, the transformation or result I help them achieve, keywords people would type into Google or LinkedIn to find someone like me. Keep it clear, benefit driven, and under 200 characters. And then you can give it your information. So write it out as though you were writing it out and then have it rewrite it. And you want to give it examples. So if you like someone's headline that is in your industry and is doing really well, then you can throw that headline into chat as an example. It's not going to copy it. Well, you don't want it to copy it. So just, you can tell chat or any AI tool, please do not copy word by word. You're only using it for format, structure, or even tone. All right. So I'm going to answer the big question before I go further into your profile is why can't I find certain things on my profile? A lot of people will ask me, how come you have that button, but I don't have that button? Why do you get to show your link and I don't get to show my link? Well, I do have a premium account. I am not promoting premium accounts. This is completely up to you. But the premium accounts do offer those custom buttons and things that allow you to showcase yourself a little bit more. It's like the bells and whistles. Also, you do get more access to folks. as well as in-mails if you're going to send out some in-mails. But people do ask a lot about why they don't see certain things on their profile. The premium account that I use is Sales Navigator because I do sales on LinkedIn, and I'm constantly, using the tool to find my ideal client. Now, it's about $106. Don't quote me, but I think it's about 100 bucks. So I do recommend it if you are on there trying to grow your business. I don't necessarily think you need it if you're trying to land a new job. If your profile is 100% complete, you'll be okay. Recruiters will find you. But if this is something you're using as a business tool, then I highly recommend buying a premium. Again, there's like 3 different types, and we don't need to go into all that. You can see it on the linkedin.com. But I just wanted to start with that because there are going to be things that I'm going to show you that are only going to be available if you have a paid account. All right. So the first thing that you will have if you do have a paid account is this link right underneath your headline. And that link is pretty cool because it immediately tells people where to go next or where to go with you. So if you're promoting a free class or a free program, a free consultation, or you just want them to book a call with you, that link, it stands out, and it's always going to be on the very top of your page. Now, if you look here, hopefully y'all can read this, but with a premium account, you do get the extra buttons, which is like visit my website and things like that. And how do you edit these buttons? Well, you simply go to the pencil in your headline section, and then you can edit the info and you can add your websites and all of that great stuff. In your headline, let's see. Oh, Michelle, are you asking if the award is worth mentioning in your headline? I think if you have room, yeah. hmm So you can do that, uh, people do it all the time, but if they're going to see it on your billboard, but if you do put it in your headline, it's searchable. I don't know if people are searching that, Emmy award winning media coach, but if they are, then it's a good idea. All right. So if you, again, so if you see here premium custom buttons, you're going to get that with the premium account. I have a really good mic. So if I'm drinking water, I'm going to back up because you guys will hear the gulp. All right. So let's talk about our about section and how important the about section is. This is really a good opportunity for you to create sort of like a sales pitch, making it more about them than it is about you, but at the same time, sharing credibility and all of that great stuff. So, keywords, always want to fill this section with keywords that people are going to be searching. Again, it's very similar to the headline. Who do I help? And then how, what qualifies me? So, and then what transformation do they get? And then always end with a call to action, which says what they can do next to work with you. So if you want them to book a call, you can put the link there, and whatever it is, or go to DM me, whatever it is that you want them to do next. So the about section is really a great place to sort of take them again to the next step. If you are searching for work, you can still use this format where you talk about the things that you've done on your job. I'm going to just say this. I know that a lot of you are business owners on this workshop, but for those that are looking for contract work or work outside of clients, then this section, what you want to highlight is things that you've actually completed. If you had a project where you transformed somebody's business or corporation and you did something fabulous at that place of business, then you want to showcase that here. All right, the featured section. So, when I talk about attracting clients with your LinkedIn profile, this featured section is really my favorite part or favorite section of LinkedIn. So, you're able to feature different things. You'll oftentimes see people just feature a post, but a post doesn't often sell who you are. It's, a daily thought or it's some tips that you're offering your community or your network. But this section really works as a sales funnel. So if you guys can see here, my very first box is my LinkedIn profile checklist, which is a free resource. People come in and grab the free resource and then they join my email list. I'm now able to create relationship with them through my email list. And then I have the LinkedIn Accelerator for Business Owners, which is launching September 8th. I'm dropping it now. But this is here for those who want to go a step further in learning how to use LinkedIn for business. And then I have a calendar link for those who want to book a call with me and go deeper and see how they can work with me. So again, think about this featured section as a funnel. How can they get started with me? What are the next steps they may want to take with me? And then maybe the final thing might be is just getting them to book a call with you where you're then able to tell them more about the services and really turn those calls into paying customers. Yeah, I like it, Michelle. Going back to the questions, I do like that in the banner as well. If you put your words in the banner, it really stands out. That's nice. All right. So a lot of people don't know that they can do this. I actually didn't know this for a long time. But under activity, where you see posts, comments, videos, images, you actually get to choose what people see on your page. So if I click newsletter, then the first thing that they see on my page instead of my post is going to be my newsletters. Again, this is another great chance for you to land a client because if you're sending them to a newsletter that actually has a strong call to action of why they should work with you, then this is just a great opportunity. So, you can also do videos. If you love your videos and you're a video person, you can have the video section show up and if you do podcasts and LinkedIn Lives the way that I do, then I have like 20 videos on my events tab where I'm speaking to different healthcare professionals. And so those videos would then populate on my profile page so people would see it and go, oh, she's, talked to all these people. That's great. And so this is something that most people miss. So yes, you get to choose. People don't have to see your last post first. Um, and oftentimes, if you're new to LinkedIn, you don't get a lot of, then it feels weird to highlight a post that no one's liked or get engaged on. So, and also if it's just, something that you wrote about from that day, or it's not anything leading people to your actual business, then I suggest putting something like your newsletter as the main thing that they can see. All right. So, any questions? Hello. If you're just coming in, I'd love to hear where you're coming in from, where you're at. I'm actually in the greater Austin area in Texas. So it's nice and warm out here, although it's going to cool down. So cool. All right. Work history. So, work history, again, this is going to be more for the for the business owner who is trying to get new clients. So, I have really crafted my work history section on my business to be more about the client and not about me, what I can offer them and what they get from working with me. Also, if you see on the left-hand side, if you are a business owner, you want to make sure that you've created a business page. We don't have time to create a business page this morning, but you want to create a business page and then you want to go ahead and attach that to the top here. Now, what happens there is that when they click on that box, it actually takes them directly to your business page. So you want to make sure that your business page actually matches your profile page in regards to what you're saying, right? So for example, here it looks like I'm talking to private practices and doctors. So if they were to click on my royalty medical page and then it takes them to something different, they might be confused, right? So you want to make sure that they're matching up in regards to what you put on them. Another thing is a lot of people don't know that they can put a website here. Yeah, I didn't know for a long time, but you can absolutely put a website or your funnel or a landing page here. And of course, attach your skills to there. I'm not going to go through the skill section. It would, there are more important parts of your LinkedIn profile that I want to talk to you about. But the skills it's very visible. Add skills. Add the skills that are relevant to today, not to 20 years ago. Okay. So, because we want people to find us based on what we're doing today, not what we were doing a decade ago. But yes, absolutely use this little section here for in this case I have a landing page, and it tells them about staffing and recruitment, and when they open it up it's a video. So take advantage of this space here. Somebody asked me on another workshop that I did this week whether or not they want, well, what about the work history? Absolutely. You're putting your work, you could put your work history. In my case, I've been in business for 15 years. Sort of everything before that seems a little bit irrelevant, right? So this is strictly business for me. And then you can see my work history. If you look down, you'll see that I worked, for private practices and things like that. All right. So you completed the best or the most important parts of your profile. Now what? How do I actually make sure that I'm visible? Welcome from India. All right. So I am going to show you some of the things that you need to do to your profile in order for people to actually see you. And so if you go to the Me button on the top of your LinkedIn profile, that is where you're going to be able to access the settings and privacy section. And pretty much everything is going to be in this section when it comes to how your profile is seen to the public. So, when it comes to visibility, and I love that because that's what we're talking about, let's be visible to clients and to employers. The visibility section is where you're going to pick how you want to be seen. Now, I want to make some suggestions here because a lot of people like to be private, but if you're using LinkedIn to land a job or to grow your business, private is not the best option. The truth is, nobody's going to go deeper with you in regards to reaching out to you if they can't see anything on your profile. So I have actually opened mine up to everyone. And there are parts of your profile that you can make private, such as like your email information, things like that. If they haven't connected with you, they can't go that far. But anyone can see me on LinkedIn. That means that when I'm found in a Google search, they get to see my entire profile, because remember, I'm using my profile as a sales page, and it's something that's actually working for me and not against me. I also don't use LinkedIn for any personal things. I do once in a while tell a personal story, but I don't give any personal information out. I keep it very professional. And so as long as you do that, you shouldn't be afraid to have your profile on public. Another thing that people don't know is that if you hide your profile picture, then although we can see your profile and your picture is completely grayed out, then that also loses trust. So I actually didn't know when I was recruiting, I didn't know my picture couldn't be seen to those who weren't connected. And one day somebody said, I can't see your picture. And I had to go back here and adjust because although my entire thing was public, my picture was not. So you want to go through each step in here and make sure that you are turning on each little section to be public. Any questions about this? This is all about your personal profile. It's not about your business page. That this is about helping your business with your personal page. I was just answering a question. All right. This is something that people always ask me. How do I get a follow button instead of a connect button? And well, you just got to do one little thing, and that is under visibility. You're going to say who can follow you, and you can choose the follow button. So everyone on LinkedIn, it does have if you guys see that at the very bottom, it says make follow primary. That you just toggle that on. I think that's the right word, right? Okay, put it on. So it should be green. And then people will see follow instead of connect. So why is this important? Well, you don't necessarily need to connect with everybody. And connection does allow them to message you direct without, needing credits or in-mails and things like that. But you're not going to necessarily want to connect with everyone. You can easily follow them and follow their content as long as their content's public. And you can find out if they're a good fit for you. If you're looking to do business with them, collaborate with them, maybe they're just inspiring you. And so you follow them. But I prefer the follow button over the connect button because I want people to follow my content. All right. Any questions on the follow button? Yeah. So I got one question about the work history. Where is it appropriate to add internships? That's just going to be under your work history. You just add it there as if it was a job. It's the best place. I hope you're learning something new or you've learned something new. So, our takeaways for today, we went about 40 minutes. That was fast. But our takeaway for today is really that a complete profile will make you findable in a search. So, that's number one. A clean and complete profile is easier to trust. It simply is. And a branded profile is memorable and just looks professional. People are attracted to brands, right? To professional brands. And now you're the brand. They're not necessarily looking at your business, they're looking for you. So you're the actual brand. So you may have a business and you may wonder like why isn't my business page get a lot of followers? The truth is people don't really care about a business name or corporation. They care about the founder, the CEO, the person that's actually running it, the decision makers. They want to know you. So it's really important that you brand your personal page. And then your LinkedIn settings matter when being easy to find. Any last questions? All right, we're almost done. So I just want to share with you guys a way that you can go deeper with me on this topic in regards to getting clients on LinkedIn. I do have a 5-day LinkedIn visibility accelerator. It launches September 8th. It's a daily drip. So you get a workshop every single day directly into your inbox. You don't have to go looking for a course login or anything like that. We're going to make it super easy for you to join and super easy for you to accelerate this process. Here is what's in it. We're going to go through LinkedIn Foundations, a little more of this, but we're going to go deeper and we'll actually go into those areas that I wasn't able to cover today, as well as going really deep on connections, how to connect, who to connect with, how to get those lead lists created, how to create 30 days worth of content using AI, but still sounding like you and being completely authentic to yourself, how you build relationships and make sales in the DMs. This is super important. Also, we're going to build out your first newsletter with you, or your second one if you want to. If you want to start a second one, so we will cover all of these things in 5 days. Again, this will go directly into your inbox every single day. All right. So, in just 5 days, you'll build your brand authority on LinkedIn, create quality content using AI, and attract decision makers. So, if you're interested in working with me, the link is going to be in the comments below. And when we get off of here, it'll be if you're on LinkedIn right now, I'll go ahead and add that on the LinkedIn comments. If you're on YouTube, we'll be adding them to the YouTube comments. So I hope that you guys will join me for this 5-day LinkedIn accelerator. We are also offering live calls for anyone who purchases the accelerator. So you'll be invited to the live calls when we go live. And on these calls, you will be able to ask questions, get your LinkedIn profile, feedback on the profile and things like that. So I hope that you will consider it, and I'd love to see you there. Please follow me on LinkedIn if you're not already following me. I would love to see you there. And I'd love to support your content as well. So thank you, everyone. This is it. We did 40 minutes. All right. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'll see you later, and go ahead and watch the next videos on YouTube. You will find a lot of great stuff on how to grow on LinkedIn. Bye.